Hello there guys and welcome back. Thank you for joining me on the 12th episode of Civilization 5 playing as Greece, and we are desperately trying to get a diplomatic victory. Again, it's been a little while since I've played, can't really remember what was happening in the last video. One thing I do remember was sending some missionaries down here and them getting captured by barbarians, so we definitely need to make sure that we rescue those guys. And we're also trying to get a few more cargo ships online, which will be nice and useful for us. I'm just going to jump straight in and hit next turn. Maybe some things will happen and I'll generally remember what was going on. Now I finished the Age of Wonders playthrough, I'll be able to dedicate a little bit more time to this particular series of Civilization and hopefully be able to get the videos out at a bit of a quicker pace. Already got an idea for what I'm going to do for my next Civilization series. I might actually try and do a one city challenge with somebody. That could be quite interesting. It isn't something that I've ever attempted before, so that could go either way really. It could be a complete disaster, but yet to be seen. So just waiting on now while the city-states, then the barbarians. Okay, so New York demands pearls, Knossos demands truffles, Corinth demands gems, stuff that we don't really have at the moment. I don't know if we have anything spare we can trade. Let's just have a quick look at the diplomacy overview. Truffles, gems, and was it pearls? I've forgotten already. Truffles, gems, and pearls. Yeah, so we'll look into the diplomacy overview. Does anybody have... See, Dido has pearls, but she doesn't have a spare. Isabella has gems, but doesn't have a spare. Truffles we could get from Morocco. Let us see if we can get truffles from Morocco. I'm not sure what I have to trade with him. He is friendly. Right, now I could get truffles. What would he want for it? Wow, whales and iron. How about... No. And how about no? And how about I give you 5 gold per turn? No? How about I give you 6 gold per turn? Okay, well 7's the max. No, wow, he wouldn't even give me, let me buy it off him for 7 gold per turn. Oh well, I don't need it that much. Maybe if we get another luxury resource, we'll be able to connect it up and try and get that, but that is fine. New York has finished the caravanserai. Let us get a harbour up there, because that will give us better trading here. Or we could go straight for the bank. Don't have a lot of gold output here anyway. Let's go to the harbour. It's only 6 turns. It's the quickest one to build. Caravan here at Corinth now. But was I sending you anywhere in particular? I don't remember. Corinth to Samarkand is currently up and running. Trade routes available. Highest gold is Corinth to Marrakesh. That's by boat. Athens to Washington. So we should do that. So let us move you instead to Athens. More units needing orders. You guys are up here because you were clearing out a barbarian encampment, so we could start bringing you back down to the safety of the realm. You guys have finished with that. I'm sure I was going to have a little job for those workers, and again I've completely forgotten what that is. New York isn't currently connected up via roads though. There's no city connection there at the moment, probably because it doesn't have a harbour, but it wouldn't be very expensive just to build 3 more road tiles there and connect that up to that little road network, so that isn't a problem, really. These guys are producing more barbarians, which isn't good, but we're going to do our best to try and take our missionaries back, because we actually got the camp. Okay, well I'm going to sit here and recover and take these guys out. I was actually heading down to one of the city-states, possibly Colombo. I think there may have been one of them that did want our religion. Well, Cape Town. Just Cape Town. Where is Cape Town? Down here. So this is obviously where those guys were heading. So we can sort that out. That won't be a problem at all. Let's go on to the next turn then. And see if the AI does anything. Haven't had war declared on us in a while. Touching wood. In it'll probably happen. Don't think it'll be America anymore. They're quite small now since we took New York away from them. They haven't really expanded, which I find very strange. America's usually one of the civilizations in this game that does like to spam out extra cities and hasn't really done so. Looks like Carthage probably has the most cities. They have stolen a few from other people, and it looks possibly like the Moroccans may have the most land, but it is difficult to tell at the moment. Economic stolen, we don't know who it was from. First Council of Athens is now in session. Right, okay. He wants to embargo city-states. We do not want this to happen, so screw the World's Fair. We are going to vote against embargoing city-states, because if we embargo city-states, we can't trade with them. And if we can't trade with them, it means that we won't be able to do trade route missions, which makes it slightly more difficult to get them on our side, which of course is what we need to do, because we're going for a diplomatic victory. So that will be the preferred outcome. The World's Fair can get voted in at any time. The only reason I picked it is because World's Fair usually gets accepted by the AI anyway. And I didn't really have anything better that I wanted to put forward at that point. So Sparta now has itself a harbour, which is very good. We can actually build an observatory here for some extra science, and we probably should, but we're going to go for the windmill first to give us the extra production. Just so that I don't forget it, because I know that I will, I'm going to add the observatory to the queue. Now, it isn't next to a mountain, but it is next to a wonder, a natural wonder, and natural wonders always count as mountains, even if it's Lake Victoria for some reason, although Lake Victoria also counts as a lake, as well as counting as a mountain. Quite strange, but there you go. We don't have a queue here anymore. What would we like to add? Obviously, we can have an observatory in Athens, and we probably should. We are next to a mountain, of course. But we're also going to get a constabulary as well. So we are going to add the constabulary first, then we're going to add the observatory. We should probably get temples up and running while we can. Unit needs orders. These workers down here have finished a farm, I assume they were working on. Not a lot else up over here. I suppose we'll come up here and build a farm on that land. That caravan has arrived in Athens, and you are going to go to Washington. Seems about right. Now you guys are going to build a road across to that hex there, which technically isn't my hex, but they can still build a road through there. It's not a problem at all. Let's go on to the next turn. I've slightly forgotten whether or not any of the AI civs are at war with each other. I know there was a little bit of feuding going on between Carthage and America a little while ago. I'm not sure if that is open yet. No, I'm not going to open my borders to you, because last time we were friends you decided you were going to try and stab me in the back and declare war on me. So, you know, I don't see any reason to be polite and friendly with you if you're just going to attack me anyway. Hopefully these guys will move so my workers will be able to get in there and build the road at some point. Probably should start upgrading some of these units just in case we do end up going to war with America again. Try not to get caught out by it if we can help it. Very close to doing navigation. We've got navigation. World's Fair passes and embargo city-states fail. Brilliant. That is the outcome we wanted. Let's look at our tech tree. What would we be better off with next? Porcelain Tower for science. Hermitage would be nice. Great work of art slot, actually. You get quite a lot going through architecture, so we're going to go into architecture and queue up that. So into acoustics, then into architecture. We are going to... What are we going to put forward? Probably not going to get away with a world religion at this point. Though it'd be really nice if we could do. What we'd like to get is... don't think it really matters all that much. We'll try and go for a world religion. Probably won't pass, but we will try and get some more votes on our side. I think we've already managed to get our religion across to America, so America may well vote for us on that one. We'll have to see. Let's start upgrading some of these units. It is a little costly, but it needs doing. Gatling guns do suffer a little bit because they only have a range of 1. So, unlike the crossbow that has a range of 2, they're not all that good for taking things out at a distance. but they still count as a ranged unit, even though they can only attack things in the next hex, which means they can fire at units without taking damage in return, and it also they have a lot more power than a crossbow, so they're a very, very good defensive unit as well for having in cities if need be. Right, let's continue to get you guys back down to our own territory where it is relatively safe. You guys are heading down to Cape Town. We won't be able to do it on this turn, but on the next turn we should be able to do that. You guys can probably safely work your way back up here now. And on to the next turn. I see that your delegation played a part in the failure of our proposal to the World Congress. Oh well, like I care. You can't even get your workers to come and put the fires out in your orange groves. So, yeah, again, not really bothered. So, I might be making some slightly hostile actions. You know, if they want to go to war with me, I will fight a war. I'm not going to open borders with you because... just because. Really. Okay. What's going on? Just wait for the city-states to do their thing, and then the barbarians. Although most of the mainland does seem to be uncovered. There's probably quite a few little islands dotted around in the water, and there'll be barbarian camps all over the place there. So you still do have to be careful with cargo ships to a certain degree. Now, I'm not focusing too heavily on the naval side of things because it is a large Pangea map. There are a few coastal cities, but we're not really going to need a navy all that much. But getting a lot of the coastal stuff does help with some of the science. We're getting navigation stolen now, which is a little bit annoying. Do we have a defensive spy? No, we don't. We could try and perform a coup in one of these cities. We'll wait until they've rigged the election. I don't see any point moving one of them into Athens right now. We'll wait till the elections have been rigged first. Cargo ship has been finished in Corinth. Let's go ahead and get a seaport here. So we've now got a cargo ship that we can use. Let's just have a quick look at the trade route overview. And we've got Corinth to Marrakesh being the highest gold. Well, it's already at Corinth. So you are going to go to Marrakesh and get us a lot of gold. We will be getting some religious pressure back there, which is a little bit of a pain, but we should be okay. And we have finished another farm. There's still plenty of land here that you can actually work, to be honest. You do have a few jungles around. Let's go down here and pop in a trading post. You guys were going over there really to build a farm. It gives us 1-1. Putting a farm there would give you an extra 2. I think that's probably slightly more important than the trading posts at the moment. Moroccan missionaries around. Need to keep my eye on those. You can go back to alert mode. You guys can go to alert mode. You just woke up because I upgraded you. You guys can move on to the hill and spread your religion. Wasn't quite enough to tick over with the look of things. I was hoping it would be, and then I could have sent the next one to Genoa, but we will see how it goes. Actually doing quite well in the religious game, considering I wasn't actually going to play the religious game. I'm actually getting quite a lot of cities and city-states flipped over to Voltology. I think it was a big help that we... Oh, go away. I think it was a big help that we actually managed to get ourselves Ezrock, or Uluru. That certainly helped with our faith production. You want to give me gold to open my borders. I don't want to do that. There's absolutely no benefit to me for doing that, so I will not. So Ife's lost its religion as well. I think it keeps getting Moroccan missionaries over there. Maybe we should up our religious game a little bit. I have quite a lot of faith stored up at the moment, actually. I need to just double check and see what my auto-buy option is here. Because we could probably get a few missionaries and start flipping some city-states and possibly start flipping Washington. Because Washington doesn't even have a pantheon at the moment. And I don't think any extra religions can be founded at this point. Religions that can be founded, 0. No. So... And if we look at the number of cities that follow each religion, Islam, so Morocco is putting out quite a few missionaries. Voltology is actually at 14, so we're actually doing quite well there. Great Prophets, Missionaries, Inquisitors, or Monasteries. It would be nice to get the monasteries up and running, but let us get ourselves a few extra missionaries first, and then we'll go back to getting the monasteries. We've got a berserker here. Obviously, we got that from one of the city-states, Sophia. Okay, well, they could come in useful later. You guys might as well just sit around here as a little defensive unit for now. You guys have now connected up that salt. That must have been what you were doing there. Do I have a job for you? Do I have any unimproved tiles? It's amazing, really. I've got more salt there. It's amazing because I watch other people playing Civilization and they always seem to be short of workers, and they will have like 5, 6, 7, 8 workers at a time and still can't get all their tiles done. Admittedly, there's a lot of tiles here that aren't improved. Not all of them are within working range, but I find 3 or 4 workers normally is quite sufficient most of the time. You guys can have one more spread. Hopefully that will completely flip Cape Town over, and it does. If I send another lot of missionary down there to try and get Genoa, we will make sure that they are escorted. But at the same time, I want to try and flip America over if I can, because then there's more chance of getting them to vote for it when it goes to the vote. If they already have the religion, they're more likely to vote for the religion, and that would be very, very good for us. It's not pivotal, of course. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. Now, we don't have open borders with America at the moment, which means it's very difficult for us to get a missionary in there without it taking some attrition, but that's not the end of the world, really. So, automatic faith purchase, we do have ourselves a missionary. You are going to trek right across here because you're going to go into Washington. I think we will... Are you out of moves? We can't move you on this turn. No, okay. We'll probably buy one more. And we'll either send it to Washington as a backup if we don't manage to get enough people flipped over. Well, I don't know. There's 6 people following. No, we don't want to open borders with you because you're just going to send in your missionaries. I don't think Washington... See, Washington's actually getting 42 pressure from us. So we probably don't actually even need to send the missionary to Washington, come to that. So I think what I'm going to do is... I'll still send these missionaries out, because we do need to send one back over to If. You see there, we've got the Moroccan missionaries still spreading Islam, so we're going to go and sort that out. And we definitely want to get down and try and spread to camera glitching out, to Genoa. Acoustics is done. Automatic faith purchase. So let us go back into here and change to monasteries, which they're still quite cheap actually, so it's quite nice to get. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this missionary, and you're actually going to go over here, so we can try and take If back. And we've got another one here at Sparta. Now, do we bother trying to take you over to Washington? I think we actually won't, because they've got enough religious pressure. We should be okay. Now, how easy is it going to be to try and get down there again? It's going to be tricky. You guys come down here. Get there any way you can. You guys get into friendly territory. It's really nasty here. It takes ages to actually get through there. Argos has finished its observatory. You are going to... Well, you're going to be a high science output city. It might be worth having a constabulary, but everyone seems to be stealing from Athens, so I think what we're going to go for is... Might as well go for the shrine, actually. See if we can get a shrine in the temple. New York has finished the harbour, so we will... So many things that I want to do. Money is the most important thing. Let's get banks up and running where we can. Okay, you guys can start to heal up now. On to the next turn. We're still 350-ish points ahead in score, which doesn't really mean all that much, but it certainly means we're doing better than some of the AIs. No, I'm still not opening borders with you. We still need to get another couple of cargo ships up and running, actually, so we're going to be doing that as soon as we have some production available in some of our coastal cities. Just keeping our eye on these Moroccan missionaries, because obviously they're heading over in this direction. He might well try Kuala Lumpur. In fact, he is actually sending his missionaries to Kuala Lumpur. Although they do have an awful lot of pressure because I'm trading with them and I'm right next to them. I'm going to assume that's barbarians because it's barbarians' turn. We have a great writer. Okay, a lot of stuff happens here. Recognises our great writer, so we get some extra influence with them, as does Leventa, as does Kathmandu. New York has now been connected with the capital. Monastery has been purchased in New York. Sparta still wants pearls. We have our great person, of course. Now, what are we going to do with you? Are we going to create a great works, or just have a one-off culture bomb? What do we really need in culture? There's some very nice things in commerce that could be really, really useful for us. We've already unlocked commerce, but I think it's very, very important to go down the commerce route. We only have 4 tourism though, and if we were to compare that with some of the other civilizations, like Songhai for example, have 10. So I think what we're actually going to do is create a great work in this instance and just try and make sure that we don't end up flagging behind with culture. So you guys were going to not head to Washington. You were the guys who were going to somehow try and get down here, as tricky as that is going to be. You guys are going to go and spread your religion to Ife. I still assume that, yeah, you see, they are trying to flip, but 72 pressure means Kuala Lumpur will pretty much always be Voltology. So you get religious pressure from a number of things. You get a certain amount of natural spread by just being in close proximity to another city. The more religion, or the more followers of a religion a city has, the more pressure it will put on to neighbouring cities. If you go down the piety tree, you do get things in here that allow your religion to spread either twice as far or twice as fast. And you also get religion spread through trade routes such as cargo ships or caravans, and that works both ways. Don't forget, it's not just trade routes, aren't just caravans and cargo ships that you send to other cities, but other cities, including city-states, send their own cargo ships and caravans to you. So we need a new automatic faith selection. I think we are just going to start pumping out some missionaries at this point and trying to play the religious game as much as we can. We've finished the mint at Massenet, so what should we go for here? It's not really that productive a city at the moment, so let's get a... We don't really have any wheat or bananas, so it's all deer for that matter, so it's a little bit pointless going for the granary. Let's get the watermill up and running there. Then we'll probably build a workshop there. You guys have now finished that farm. I guess we could come up here and build a mine should we need the extra production later on. You guys are going to spread Voltology to Ife, which puts it neutral, and then on the next turn you'll be able to flip it back to Voltology. See, these guys did manage to get a follower there. There are some followers, but it's certainly not going to be enough for it to make any difference to us whatsoever. You guys are healing up. On to the next turn. Been a quite uneventful couple of turns, I have to admit, but we are getting there. We're making progress. We've got over 2,500 gold at the moment, and we're actually making 226 per turn, which is really nice. One thing I have forgotten about completely, which is probably a really bad thing. The World's Fair did pass, and I actually haven't done any work on it at all at the moment. But Athens is working on Big Ben, and I don't really want to stop that if at all possible. Not sure if I've got any cities where I can put any work into it, but we'll certainly have a look in a moment. And we have a great merchant, which is really nice. So we may adopt a policy. We're going to go for wagon trains, gold from land trade routes. Or do we go for exploration? Because we can get coastal trade routes here. No, most of them are going to be land. Wagon trades, 2 gold from all your land trade routes. And maintenance paid on roads and railroads is reduced by 50%. Which is quite significant because we do have some really long roads. So 220 gold per turn. 236. It's only 16, but, you know, that will go up as we start changing road to rail and so on and so forth. Argos has now finished its shrine, so we are going to put you on to the World's Fair. If we can put 175 production or more, we'll get a golden age. 350 production or more would give us a free social policy. So at the very least, we want to try and put 350 production into it. Not necessarily sure if that is going to work, but we're going to put you on to production focus and hope that it does. No sauce, I think we'll actually put you on to the World's Fair for a little while as well. Put you on to production focus. You guys are also going to build a mine, which will help with that production. You guys can spread again. Still, I don't think it was quite enough. They still have more pressure from us than from anybody else, so we should be okay. We do have a great merchant, which is really nice. We've successfully rigged the elections in Hong Kong. Let's just actually have a look at our espionage overview. 55% chance of a successful coup in Hong Kong, 0% chance of a successful coup in Colombo. I think we're going to move you for the time being and put you back into Athens just as a counter spy, try and get your levels up. Steve Jobs is our great merchant here. Where are we going to send you to? Or is it still early enough in the game to really benefit from having a customs house? I think it probably is. In all honesty, it's probably better to have a customs house at this point. Just need to find a tile to put it on. Probably on the hill. We can get some production from it. Oh, we don't have that tile though, do we? We could buy that tile, I suppose, because it hasn't really been used for anything. We haven't spread to it naturally either, so I think what we're going to do is we are going to go into Athens, we are going to buy a tile and buy that one, and we are going to move Mr. Jobs onto that tile, and we are going to build ourselves a customs house. We do lose the food that was on that tile, but it still produces 2 production and 5 gold, so it is quite a nice tile. And we'll just make sure that that tile stays locked, so we are always working it. And yeah, it's all good money indeed. You guys are going to connect up that salt, because I'm sure we can find a use for it. Just before we end the turn, I think what we're actually going to do is we will just... I don't really want to purchase the windmill, but we could purchase a seaport. We will change production and go into the World's Fair. Is there anyone else that we could bribe at the moment? Sophia, we'd like to have them on our side. So 3 more influence to usurp America. So let's do that. That still leaves us with over 1,000 gold in the bank. Is there anyone else that we could get on side at this point? I guess we could get Zanzibar. If we give them, how much do we need? 32. Let's give you the full 1,000. That gets you onto our side. Gets us some extra luxuries to trade. It also gives us truffles now. So that should give us a Wheel of the King Day somewhere. Still quite a way off getting a golden age, but that's not too much of a problem.
Is the following trade of interest to you?
You want to give me 6 gold per turn for citrus. How about you give me 7? Oh no, it says the deal has faded. No. How about, no, then. And I'll see if anybody else wants it. Napoleon has made peace with Isabella, so France and Spain were fighting. Even though they're not actually technically neighbouring countries in this game, they're still fighting with each other. Sophia seeks investors. Now, Sophia, one of the ones that I just flipped over. It's a little bit annoying if it was, because it means I could have got a bonus from giving them money. But we can have a look. So, we've got architecture. We have a great artist, and a lot of stuff has suddenly gone on. Research agreement is fine. We know about that. Sophia, they are our allies, so I think we're alright with them at the moment. Deal iron to Ahmed Al-Mansur. So we provided iron, we provided horses, we provided gold per turn. Oh, I think that was for the research agreement, wasn't it? Washington provided gold to us. So we were providing citrus to Washington. Would anybody else like to have some citrus for money? You're neutral. No, you don't have anything that I want. I don't have anything that you want. You're losing money. You're actually hemorrhaging it, so you're not going to give me anything for that at all, are you? So we won't bother with that. Isabella, let's have a word with you. You're still neutral. I don't have anything that you want. You have gems, which I'd like, but you only have the one. Let's try the Songhai. It'd be nice if we can keep them on side. You actually have a fair bit of money. Would you be willing to give me... No. No, come on, behave. Flipping iron. Would you be willing to give me 7 gold per turn? No. Oh, we're not doing very well here. How about you, Armidal Mansour? You're our buddy. Do you want oranges? No. You don't want oranges. Let's try Napoleon. He is neutral, so probably won't. Would you be willing to give me 7 gold per turn? Yes, he would. Fine. There we go. The French like oranges, apparently, so that's a good thing. Choose research. We have now finished architecture. That was actually quite fast. I think we'll go into scientific theory just so we can get public schools up and running as quickly as possible. We've got a cargo ship at Corinth. Let's have a look at our trade overview and see. Highest gold would actually be New York to Marrakech. So let us do that. We will move this cargo ship to New York. A unit needs orders. Okay, so we have our missionary. We are going to move the missionary, and we are going to... I keep forgetting the missionary can move twice as fast as the support unit, but he should be able to get down there relatively safely. We're going to try and send him to Genoa. Cape Town isn't on board with us yet. It would be nice. Let's pledge to protect them. 20 influence, would that be enough? Yes, it would. Let's just give them the influence. Now they're on board, and we can actually see through their borders now, which is quite useful. You guys just sit there on alert in case we need you later. You guys have now finished that road, which is good. We're getting the suggestions of trading posts on these 2 tiles, which I don't disagree with, so let's have a look at that. Great artist. We don't actually have anywhere where we can put great works at the moment, so I think what we'll actually do, we'll start a golden age. Why not? It's only going to be 8 turns, but it will be a improvement, because we get an extra... at least 1 gold produce... Oh, let's get this right. Every tile in the Empire that produces at least 1 gold produces 1 extra. And cities gain 20% production, and Empire-wide culture is increased by 20%. So we get some extra culture, we get extra production, and any tile which produces at least 1 gold produces 1 more. So our customs houses at the moment are actually giving us 6 gold instead of 5, which is quite nice. So we're already getting 18 gold per turn just from our little 3 customs houses there. Unit needs orders. This missionary, we've managed to get another missionary. Washington still hasn't flipped over yet, which I'm very surprised about. So we are actually going to send you in there to do that. You can actually get next to Washington in 1 turn. And spread. Was that enough? Not quite. Well, we can do it on the next turn anyway. That's probably what we'll do. We should get gunpowder at some point as well, so we can upgrade the trebuchets to cannons just in case we do end up going to war. Although I'm not particularly trying to take cities, sometimes it's better just, like we did with America, to just wipe out their army and then take a city in a peace deal. Yes, you may not get the city that you actually wanted to get. You won't get their capital, of course, which means you'll miss out on a lot of the wonders. But it's better to take 1 city. It certainly slowed America's progress right down in this game. I've wants Voltology, which is actually quite useful. I don't think we actually have enough faith to spit out another missionary, although we're getting 101 faith per turn. So it won't be long before we get another missionary, and then we can certainly send one over to Ife. Ife are getting Islam bombed again at the moment. Cargo ship has arrived at New York. You're going to go to Marrakech because that is the most gold. 300 gold per turn now, which is very nice. Let us just keep moving the missionaries down. We should be okay down here, but it's difficult to tell. You guys took attrition. We knew you would. That's not a problem. We can still do a 750 spread, and we've got Voltology to Washington. I was going to make this the last turn, but I've done my usual thing of just default automatically reflex clicking the button, but let us go on and do this next turn anyway. Wonder how well the World's Fair is actually going. We should check up on that at the end of this turn. See if we're actually getting anywhere close to completion and see if we can work out roughly what our contribution is to it. So city-states doing their thing. Genoa desires gems. Not really in much of a position where I could get one. There were some gems around somewhere. I think it was near Washington. No, that was gold. I know there was somewhere that there were gems. Automatic faith purchase, of course, we now have ourselves yet another missionary. You can't move on this turn, but you're going to be going over here to Ife. Let's just have a quick look at the World's Fair. No, I actually want the... It's actually going to give me the information. I've got info addicts installed. Well, never mind. Let us keep going down here and really hope that barbarian camp hasn't respawned. I don't think there's any point sending you guys down because you're not going to be able to do an awful lot from there anyway. So you might as well just go back up to there. You still have some movement. Let's keep you along the coast. Once we're down to here, we should be safer. Go on then. One more turn. One final turn. I was consciously pressing the button that time. I had decided. I just want to get those missionaries into a little bit more safety than they are currently in. Still need to make sure that we get these cargo ships built, but like I said, I do really want to get a certain amount of production into the World's Fair. At the very least, it'd be nice to get silver and get ourselves the free social policy. Doing quite well with a lot of the city-states at the moment. We've already got most of the city-states on board. It's just now a matter of keeping them on board and waiting until we get World Congress and votes for the world leader. Okay, right. Have we lost somebody? Don't think we have. Okay, missionaries. Let's do what we can with you. You were heading down here to Genoa. Seems safe enough there, and, well, that's pretty much all I can do on this turn. You guys are going to move up in there. And we are done. So we've got a little bit further. Again, not quite as exciting an episode as I would have been hoping for, but at least no one declared war on us. My science output could be a little bit better, and my culture output could be a lot better, but certainly can't complain about gold. We are certainly on our way to a victory in the manner which we are attempting to get a victory anyway. We'll just have a look on the culture victory. I know we're not going for a culture victory, but Songhai have got a relatively decent amount of tourism compared to everybody else. Now, that's not going to be too problematic because it's very, very difficult to get an early culture victory. So I don't think we have to worry too much about the Songhai there. If we actually look at influence by player, and we look at the Songhai, who are the most influential, they are actually exotic with a few of the civilizations, but they are completely unknown with me. They're rising slowly, but if I build my culture up, you can see here that I've got more culture than anybody else. If I build my culture up, I should be fine. Let's just have a quick look at the demographics before we end the video. That was a misclick. Demographics. So, population, we have the highest, we have the most food, we have the most manufactured goods, the most gold, the most land, the highest happiness, and the highest science. The only person that has something better than us is Dido. She has the most soldiers, but that isn't necessarily the worst thing. She also has the worst happiness as well. So no one's likely to beat us to a science victory if we were going to one. I don't think anyone's got a chance of beating us as a diplomatic victory. A culture victory seems out of the question at this point. Possibly that Dido could go round and start trying to do a domination victory, but I don't think that is going to be an issue. So far, it looks like we are on the winning path. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you're still enjoying Civilization 5, and I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.